Objection calls for hearsay.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. He'd had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
Hearsay.
Let's move beyond the conversation that Kevin Murphy had with Ms. Heard.
He said, yes, they had. Okay. It appears that Ms. Heard had told...
Hearsay, Your Honor.
This is apparently a statement by Mr.
not to fight.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
What she would like for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I'm not sure if offered for the truth of the matter is certain.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning. To Ms. Heard that...
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
All right,
And I object.
Disturbing. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers. So I can read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth.
I think it's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is
You'd like it to be, sir. Nothing simple in this case.
Other than
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
this was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
Go to. And that was a document you signed in August of 2016. Correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes, that's the fourth.
I wanted to make clear that you signed that in the summer of 2016.
What's up, Cinema Shogun here, and like I've been trying to tell you all for the past couple of days, I am noticing a complete energy shift when it comes to this Johnny Depp situation. I am noticing that the tides are turning and things are just swaying right back into Johnny Depp's favor. You know, for years now, Johnny Depp was painted out to be the villain. And don't get me wrong, I know most of you all know that that wasn't the case. But to the general public, to the bystander who just reads the headlines, Johnny was made out to be this complete monster. AH made him out to be this complete monster. But now, the truth about Johnny Depp is on full display for the entire world. And it appears as if Johnny was not the monster in this situation. And now not only are just random passerbys starting to realize that they have been misled about this entire situation, even Hollywood is starting to come around. You know, Hollywood has been the main ones running with this narrative that Johnny was this bad person. That Johnny was this evil, mean SOB. There was so much nonsense out there about Johnny. Johnny lost his jobs. So many good movies with Johnny Depp in it that we could have watched. But no. Instead, we had to watch Amber H grace the screen in Aquaman, in Justice League. Man, it made me sick. But now, it seems like Hollywood is starting to come around a little bit. And Alec Baldwin's daughter, of all people, has just absolutely eviscerated Amber Heard. I mean, she straight up nuked her from orbit. Now, arguably, maybe Ireland Baldwin should be worried about what her father is going through. But she had some things to say about Amber Heard, and I'm here for it. Ireland Baldwin did not hold back her distaste for Amber Heard as the defamation trial against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, rages on in court. Alec Baldwin's 26-year-old daughter took to Instagram to weigh in on the explosive defamation trial between the exes. And she sided with Depp while blasting turds. While blasting Amber Turd. The thing is, I know women who are exactly like this. They are manipulative and cold. They use their womanhood to play victim and turn the world against the man. Because we live in a society where it's cool to say men are the worst and blah, blah, fuckity, blah. Ireland wrote on her Instagram story over someone else's tweet about the AH Johnny Depp trial. And she's not telling no lies. You know, it's not often that we see someone in Hollywood speak up like this. And in Hollywood, it's popular right now to paint out men to be these complete evil people. Like men are the scum of the earth, according to Hollywood, because Hollywood has a feminist agenda. And AH is very much manipulative, and she is very much playing a victim, and she's using her womanhood to shield her. AH is the Jussie Smollett of Hollywood relationships, of Hollywood brides. She's a Jussie Smollett. You see, Jussie Smollett would lie about things done to him, and he would use his sexuality and his race to try to guard him from repercussions, to try to paint him out to be the victim. Whereas AH is using her womanhood to paint her out to be the victim. And just like Jussie Smollett, she's accused someone of doing something to her that doesn't look like it ever happened. But that's not all Alec Baldwin's daughter had to say. Ireland argued that men can experience abuse too. And I'm sorry that I have to spell that word out for you all like a 5-year-old. But we can't talk about these things on YouTube. But yes, men can experience this too. Men definitely can experience this too. But the difference is when men experience this, we're more so told to like, oh, suck it up, get over it. It's considered soft if you complain about something like this. In fact, like when you mention that you're going through something like this, it's just like, oh, she's crazy. That's a crazy one. She's a feisty one. Never mind the fact that she's putting her hands on you, ruining your life. You're just basically told to shrug it off. And you know it's not going to hold up well in court. Things like this always work in the woman's favor. Just about 99.999999% of the time. It's going to work in the woman's favor. And for a man to even come out about suffering from things like this, it's extremely difficult for them to do that. I mean, sucking up your pride and letting the world know that you're getting, hit on by a woman, that a woman is leaving all these marks on you, throwing bottles at you, just, you name it. I can't even get into full details. So yes, I think that it's time that we acknowledge that. And I feel like now's a better time than ever. In fact, we have 2 real big things that happened in recent history. We're going through this case, one of the biggest cases in Hollywood history. We also had the situation that just went down with Will Smith and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith. And I think now's the time to start having this conversation. That men suffer from these toxic women too. It's not always the man that's the bad person in the relationship. And in fact, I would say 9 times out of 10, you'll never know that a man is going through something like this. There's so many men out there right now, probably some watching this video, who are with someone like an AH, like a Jada Pinkett Smith. And you'll never know it because they're too afraid to admit it. Whereas a woman knows if she comes out with it, she'll be consoled. If a man comes out with it, he gets laughed at. He gets turned into a walking joke. But Ireland Baldwin went on to just absolutely destroy AH, saying that AH is a terrible person. And I hope Johnny gets his reputation and his life back. And I hope he's in like 5 Pirates movies. You know, I really like Johnny Depp's role as Captain Jack Sparrow, but he made it clear, even if Disney wanted him, he's not coming back. He is not coming back. And I don't blame him. And honestly, if Disney makes these Pirates movies without him, I'm not going to see them. And I have no faith that they will be good. What is the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise without Johnny Depp? But then Ireland Baldwin goes on and says that AH is an absolute disaster of a human being. She says that AH is an absolute disaster of a human being. And you know, I can't argue with that. Never in a million years did I think that I would have common ground with Alec Baldwin's daughter. But hey, you know, sometimes you shouldn't judge people by their cover. You know, you don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you maybe shouldn't jump to conclusions about people that you don't know. And I would have thought that me and this girl had nothing in common, but she's making a lot of sense here. You know, and that's unique when it comes to Hollywood. Most people out of Hollywood, they don't make any sense. And the fact that she spoke up here is very courageous. Because, you know, this AH stuff, it's all part of the Me Too movement. And like I just stated, like she's pretty much protected by that. And, you know, you don't go against the cult in Hollywood. Okay? Hollywood is very much cult-like. And speaking out in a situation like this, especially when Hollywood has made it clear that they have chosen sides and they have chosen AH's side, this right here is kind of dangerous for your reputation, for your career, if you have one, for your future. It really is. So when you see people in Hollywood speaking out, just know that it takes a lot because they have a lot at stake. You know, some of us can sit here and say whatever we want because we know that we're going to be fine. But when you're working in Hollywood, trying to make a living in entertainment or what have you, you have to be quiet about these things. So the fact that she spoke out, I'm proud that she did. I think more people in Hollywood need to start speaking out. I think, you know, when Jason Momoa followed Johnny Depp, that was his way of speaking out without speaking out. You know, like, I don't think that we'll get to a point where Jason Momoa actually comes out and verbally supports Johnny Depp and calls out AH. But him following Johnny Depp on Instagram, that was his way of speaking out. Ireland Baldwin's just a little more brave than that, so she just went all out there and just called AH an absolute disaster of a human being. And I mean, it looks like she is, you know. It definitely looks like she is. But I want to know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you on the next video.